Great groovy Galaxy Guardians makers, it's Prof G, and in this lesson the G stands for Groot.
I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot.
And this lesson is an actual in-class challenge that my students had to complete after all learned to use the Circuit Playground's capacitive touch and learned how to play WAV files using our online lessons. Now, while my students used their skills to build a talking Groot, there's no reason why this Groot-like goodness can't be adapted to make other projects talk when touched.
Seeking Professor G, you are. Come to the right place, you have.
So let's get about vanquishing Thanos with big learning. Now, my students have been working through our CircuitPython school playlist, and they've got the skills to complete these builds. I won't describe code too much here because I assume everyone has gone through the earlier lessons. If not, dive into the playlist. The learning is super fun. Now, in class, I show a challenge slide, and I give a few instructions to make it easier for us to compare code when I show the solution. They usually have about 20 to 30 minutes per build. I encourage them to help one another out, and then I show a solution, and usually a few other notes. You can try this as a challenge too, and I'll show a solution when done. Now, I remind students that they can use our tip sheet that has copy and paste setup code for lots of CircuitPython components, and I show them where they can download the sounds and mention they're named IamGroot1.wave through IamGroot4.wave. Now, I advise students to build projects in phases, making sure each component or technique works before continuing. So here I advise students to get capacitive touch working on pad A4 and use an alligator clip to give them a larger touch surface, then get audio working and play the same sound whenever tapped, and then cycle through the Groot sounds with each tap. For example, after a tap plays the sound IamGroot4.wave, the next should play IamGroot1.wave. Now, once all the components and code are working, it's time to finish the build. Wrap a bit of conductive thread around the succulent sleeves. The goal is for any tapped surface to create a connection to the thread. Leaves that touch each other should convey capacitance. Wrap loosely, you don't want to cut the plant. Slip the other end of the thread through the hole in the top of the box, then clip it to the alligator clip attached to the pad. Now test your Groot and show your instructor when it's working. I always show a video of what the working build should look like, and after this, I'll also show how this can be accomplished using the modulo operator and using the ternary operator, neither of which requires you to use an if statement.
I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot.
So if you want to play along with the home game, why don't you pause, give this a shot, and when you're ready, resume, and let's compare answers. So plug your Circuit Playground board into your computer. This will work either on the Express or Bluefruit. You should see CircuitPy appear on the desktop. Then open your code editor. My students use PyCharm. And let's start coding from scratch. I've got an empty code.py file, but as is our custom, the first comment is going to be the name that I'm going to use when I back up this file into our CircuitPython school folder. That's going to be groot.py. Then for super fast builds, let's head over to a browser and find our tip sheet at bit.ly/CircuitPython, capital C, capital P, -tip-sheet. This is an open Google Doc. All students and faculty are free to use it if you'd like. Now I'm going to open Find, Command F Mac, Control F Windows, type in touch, and here's the code for using the touchpads on the CPB. It's the same for the Circuit Playground Express. Now I'm going to grab this first chunk of code from the import through the if touchpad a1.value. I'm only using one touchpad, so this code will be fine. Copy it, head to PyCharm, paste it in, and before I write my while true, I'm going to print Groot running. I always do that just before my while true so that I see something on the console that indicates that yes, my code is running. Then while true underneath this with a colon at the end. Then I'll highlight the comment and the if line and tab over. PyCharm will indent these, but I've got to change my setup. I'm not working with touchpad A1, I'm working with touchpad A4. Make sure board.a4 is passed into the touch in class. Then in the if statement and while true, I want to refer to touchpad a4.value. When this is true, the pad has been touched. So just to make sure this is working, indented underneath the if statement, I'll print I'm being touched. And so that I can compare touch versus not touched, I'm also going to outdent, say else colon, and then indented below this, I'll print all caps no touches. Then I'm going to open the PyCharm terminal. I'll type in to space -l so I can see all the devices connected to my computer. Find my CircuitPy board, copy it, then type to space and paste that name in. If you're on Windows, this will be a COM number, but I can see I'm connected to my board. I'm ready to save and run. Save, look at the output. We get a bunch of prints that say no touches, but when I tap the clip that's connected to A4, it toggles to I'm being touched. Capacitive touch working. Let's continue. When I'm clicked in the terminal, I'll Control C to stop the running code. Then let's set up sound play. Back in the browser, with our tip sheet still open, I'm going to search on the phrase audio, and here's the setup code for audio on the Circuit Playground. Now I've imported board, but I'm going to highlight from digital I/O through the audio equals audio out. Copy this, Then back in PyCharm, after I've imported touch.io, I'm going to say comma and paste that in. That sets up my speaker and imports what I need to play wave audio. But we need a bit more code. Back to the tip sheet. Here's the code for audio wave file play. Highlight and copy it. And I'll paste this in just above the while true. Now let's get some files to play and put them on our board. If you've gone through some of my other lessons, you know I keep resources for our lessons in an open Google Drive at bit.ly, CircuitPython-school-files, all lowercase. Let's find that folder for Groot-waves, right-click and select download. Yours is probably going to your downloads folder. My browser asks me where I want to save. I'm saving to the desktop. Minimize the browser. I'll minimize PyCharm so I can see the desktop. Let's open up our CircuitPy drive, and you can also look inside the Groot waves folder that you just downloaded. The 4 wave files are in there. I am Groot 1 wave through I am Groot 4 wave. I'm going to copy this folder from my desktop to my CircuitPy volume. And sorry if this is confusing, I already had a Groot waves file on this CircuitPy volume, so I'm just going to replace what's there. And I have a bunch of old sounds here, so if you run in a room, you can always delete the stuff that you don't need from your CircuitPy drive. But I can see now on my CircuitPy board, I've got a folder called Groot-waves, and it's got 4 I am Groot wave files in there. Now, if you've gone through our earlier lessons, you know that our setup code has a path variable that points to the folder that contains our audio files. I'm going to copy this name, Groot-wavs, then head back over to PyCharm. I find the old path name, which was sounds. I'm going to paste Groot-waves over the top of that. Always make sure you've got the slash at the end. And now my code knows where it can find its sound files. Now I'm also going to head back to the Finder and copy the exact file name for the first wave file. That's what I'm going to play first. Head back to PyCharm. And right under where I print out I'm being touched, I'm going to call play_sound, passing in the string I_am_Groot_1.wav. It's got to be spelled exactly like this, otherwise you'll get an error. Now I don't need the else and print anymore, so I'm going to highlight and delete that. Let's save the work, open the terminal, TO still running, and touch! Magnificent. Now let's add the last bit of code so that we cycle through all of our sounds, I am Groot 1 through I am Groot 4, then loop back to start at I am Groot 1 again. Now since the only difference in my 4 files is the number at the end, I'm going to create a variable that contains a number, and I'll increment that number and pass it in as the last part of the file name. So just above the start of our while true, I'm going to create that variable calling it file_number, setting it initially equal to 1. And we know how we can modify a string by passing a variable in. Instead of typing a literal 1 in here, I'm going to add curly braces, then pass in the variable file_number. And PyCharm immediately knows this is an F string, so it corrects my code for me. It puts an F in front of the opening double quote. Another great reason to use PyCharm. Then below this, I'm going to say file number equals file number plus 1, or the shorthand for this is file number plus equals 1. Both of those do the same thing. You should know the shorthand. It's very common among Python coders. Then below this, if file number exceeds 4, I want to loop back and start file number at 1 again. So I'm going to say if file_number, AI says greater than 10. That's not what I want. I want it to be greater than 4, colon, and indented below this, file_number equals 1. Now the Circuit Playground has a built-in speaker, but I'll add a speaker and an amp to make things louder. My students have all these components in their build kits, and these components can also be reused with the Raspberry Pi Pico lesson. Now this amp has a plus and minus terminal to connect to and power the speaker, and this JST Gator connector is black to ground, white to audio, and red to V out. Code Legends, this should work. Open TO, let's save, and then we can touch.
I am Groot. 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 I am Groot.
So we heard that cycling through all 4 Groots, looping back to the first Groot. Nice. Now let me show you 2 techniques where we can replace these 3 lines of code with 1 line of code each. We'll show the ternary operator and the modulo operator. So I'm going to highlight and command / these 3 lines of code, and I'll comment them with if conditional so you can use them to compare what we're about to write. And then above this, I'll put in a comment that says with ternary operator, and we'll say file number equals, and you'll remember from our lesson on the ternary operator, the format is what we do if it's true, then the if conditional, if true or false, followed by else, what we do if it's false. So the condition for true will be file_number plus 1. In the middle, we'll put if file_number less than. It wants to put 10 in here, it should be 4, else 1. So this is how we read this. We look at this middle portion here first, the if statement. This is going to be true or false if the file number is less than 4. So we just played a sound. If it's 1, 2, or 3, then we go to the true side, which is at the left here. We say file number plus 1. We increment the file number. But when our file number hits 4, we head over to the right side, We take the 1 and we put that in file number. That's it, one line of code that does the same thing as the 3 lines of code below it. Oh, and before I save and run this code, why don't we add a print statement that really shows us what's going on, which will fprint I am Groot with curly's the file number.wave. This will just show us which file is printing. After it's played, we can try this out, save to run the new code, and it works perfectly.
I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot.
Fantastic. Now let's use the modulo operator. That's that percent symbol. I'll comment out my ternary operator line, and just below play sound, I'll put in a comment that says with modulo, which returns remainder. Now, even though the syntax is a little weird, the math is super simple. I'll say file number equals, and I'll put parentheses in here even though I don't need them. This will remind you that the modulo happens first. File number %4. That gives us a remainder. So to continue from the slide that we saw in our modulo lesson, 1 mod 4 is 1, 2 mod 4 is 2, 3 mod 4 is 3, and 4 mod 4 is 0. So by adding 1 after each of these, when file number is 1, we end up with 2, 3, 4, and then back to 1. A super elegant way to loop through a range without requiring any if statements. That's the modulo loop technique. And if it helps, I'll add this comment after my ternary operator line that says do this if true, else do this. Oh, and I also want to print this line out, so I'm going to cut it out. Paste it after play sound, although now that I consider it, before play sound would be a better spot. Command / to uncomment. Then let's open terminal, save, and see how things work.
I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot.
Looping perfection with the modulo operator. Nice! So save this to your CircuitPython school folder as groot.py. Make sure you close that outermost tab, and let me show you some ideas for assembling the final build. Now in my course I bought all of my students a succulent. You can actually buy them in bulk from Amazon, and we 3D printed these Groot heads. A link to the file that I used is in the description. Now you could alligator clip to the succulent leaves, but that'd likely damage the plant. A better alternative is conductive thread. You can weave the thread in between the leaves so that no matter where you touch, there's a path from a leaf to the conductive thread. Then clip the other end of the thin thread to an alligator clip, which is attached to your touchpad, and you've got a nifty build.
I am Groot. 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 I am Groot.
You can put the electronics in a cardboard box or another container and cut a hole in the top for the thread and another out back for the USB cable. My students used our Makerspace laser cutters to cut custom boxes. If you want to learn how you can create a custom box using a free tool online and then use Illustrator to modify the designs, I've got a lesson in this video. I'll also link that in the description. I'll also share the file that I used to cut out this guy who's in my office. I cut slots in the box to allow more of the sound to escape from the internal speaker. I also bought this larger group from Amazon. You can see how I've slipped the conductive thread through the hole in the top of the enclosure. And when you're done, place this in a location to delight your visitors. When Groot is touched, he can greet all, and your visitors will be wildly impressed with your mad-making skills. Enjoy this? Drop a like, subscribe for more awesome build ideas, and if you built this, post a photo or video on the socials and @ me, and use the hashtag BuiltWithProfG, and you might win the weekly Make Something Awesome sticker. There's one winner a week, and I mail them anywhere in the world for free. Hack on!